Hello, everybody, and welcome back. My name is Tuxedo Ian. We're getting back into our playthrough of Book of Hours today. This will be video number 50 in our series, and we're making good headway. We started moving into the subterranean areas of the island yesterday, and we made a whole bunch of new dishes. So we're going to see what we can get done today. So here we go. All right, so when we last left off, we were working on leveling up resurgences and emergences. And we have a couple different things we could work on. We have two more lessons we could give to resurgences and emergences, or we could give those two lessons to another Grail skill if we wanted to, like Great Signs and the Great Scars. Because at this point, resurgences and emergences is getting to the place where it's a little bit difficult to level it up because we would need 6 memories. Yeah, we'd need 5 memories at either Grail or Moth, and right now we only have 2 Moth memories and 3 Grail memories, plus we can get 1 more if we eat something, so that would be about as far as we could take resurgences and emergences. So I think we'll probably devote those other 2 to another skill. Which one, though, I'm not sure. Oh, we do have Curious Hunch, so that's possibly a thing we could do, so we'll finish reading this book here, at least, for now, and then we'll decide what we're going to do with those 2 lessons. Because we did manage to have enough scale to finish reading Curcubit Prisoner Records 1928. Okay, so there's and we're leveling up our Orchard Keeper to get her high enough that she can open up that wheel-choked spring down at the bottom. So, Curcubit Prisoner Records 1928. Accounts by Governor Collar's private secretary of interventions and experiments in the last years of the Curcubit prison, focusing particularly on the hill children, wild wood things that have found a shape in the physical world. Something called a Singlefoot, a horned mountain dweller, is brought back from some kind of embassy to the Grove of Green Immortals. Collars expresses his irritation that Gervinus Van Loren refuses to assist in its containment. The Singlefoot somehow conjures an earthquake that cracks the tower and enables its escape. Collars determines that it should not have been permitted to dream while kept beneath the earth. It had access to sufficient scale aspect to use its arts of hill and hollow to develop an old moment into an earthquake name. He mandates above-ground confinement for all hill children prisoners in the future. So there's what the hint that we needed. So we need to develop hill and hollow and use that with old moment to make an earthquake name. And we get a memory salt and two lessons on hill and hollow. So we'll also mark this with memory salt. And we can put this up here. We can put this 1927 and 1928 together. All right. So that gives us 2 lessons of hill and hollow. So we can improve that. We need moon and scale. Easily done. Seventh voice gives us moon. And Book of the Centipede gives us moon. So that's 2 for Horns and Ivories, or for Hill and Hollow. And then we can do level 3. We already have the memory salt, and we can get 2 more, those 2 memories again. Alright, Resurgences is now level 5. Birth and death are only directions. Between the 2, we find a crossroads. And I suppose we have Wind and Waiting as another Moth memory, so we could use that if we needed to. Alright, so their aspects have been boosted by the tool appropriately. So we'll give them some drink. We can use this. Well, we have the Scrumpy there. That would be a lot. We also have. So let's see. We need some. We can give her the pears for now to start munching on those. And then we can pour out. We have some Lambic Brooklyn down here that we can use, or dandelion wine does the same thing. So we'll use the dandelion wine. Get a glass of that for her. Okay, just about done there. Alright, so she's done eating. We'll give her the wine to drink. That will get her to 9, and then we can use our health, which will get her to 10, and allow her to open up the spring down there at the bottom of the well. Okay, so there's our 2 memories for Hill and Hollow. We can use the Tryst because it has moon. No expert, but I'm no dabbler either. Just refill that. Refill that. And that will give us our 3 memories that we need for the next, because with memory salt, which has moon on it. So since we have Edict's Martial and we don't have an old wound, we'll go ahead and start working on an old wound. Alright, so that's at 9, and then health will get her to 10, and that will finish up and open up this room down here. Okay, Hill and Hollow is now level 3. 3 scale, 4 moon. The ways of the Hill Children and the Gods from Stone. Old paths, old secrets, the songs that still echo beneath the earth. Yeah, I can see why that would make an earthquake name. So let's see, what do we have over here? We have the Howling Chamber. We need 11. Yeah, so once we get another Wormwood Dream, we can use Mr. Kill to open this up. Actually, we could hire Mr. Kill now and open him up and open that up. So actually, I think we'll do that because we can get him to. We have 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yep, we can definitely get him there. So we'll start off by using the Faust to give him more sky aspect. And then we'll take our Orchard Keeper. The pool here is filled with rusting and rotting wheels. Was this some attempt to block it, or were the wheels thrown down the well above as offerings? In either case, it'll need to be cleaned out, and suitable offerings made to appease the powers to whom this place is holy. So we'll start working on that. There are our 2 memories, for which we can grab Hill and Hollow again. 1 lesson, 2, 3, and a health. And this will improve this to level 4. So that will give us 4 scale. So plus the old moment makes 8. Plus a health makes 9. Plus a Newman would get us to 14. So we need 1 more level of that, and we can get to 15 to make a earthquake name. Or actually, I think we might be able to cheat a little bit, but I'll figure that out later. Oop, I made the wrong thing. Meant to make an old wound, ended up making a labyrinthic tincture instead. But this gives us an opportunity to show off one thing that we haven't done yet. We can take items and we can throw them down the well that we do not want. If I drop an object into the well, I'm unlikely to see it again. So use this to dispose of junk or of danger. So just to show what happens when we do that, gives us a memory of sound. So that gives us heart if we throw it down the well. So we get sound if we're throwing something down a well. Makes sense. Goes kerplop. My assistant and I are vigilant. Then we'll give him the wind and waiting. And then once he's done with that, we'll give him the Mazarine Fife, which will get him to 11, so he can open up that next room. Alright, this skill is now level 4. So we have 4 scale, 5 moon. And just to see what that can make, let's test it out over here. So that can make a salt sign. If we add health instead, it makes Bisclever it's not. For the scale side, if I add an egg, it hatches something that recalls an earlier era. If I add an egg with moon, I hatch something eyeless but pulsing with potential. Alright, so let's go to our quarters over here and grab this extra fife. Yeah, because that will get him to Sky 11. Just in time before the day ticks over. Alright, and the Orchard Keeper has finished cleaning out the well. We found the sacred spring. The eye marked on the rocks here is not the watchman's eye that decorates the church above, but the eye that marks the temple of the wheel in dreams. The priests of the sun would tell you that there was no sight before the rising of the sun, but those who've drunk from this spring will dream of another sun, one that swung lower in the sky, one that would speak with us, one that would accept friendly gifts of blood from us. A sacred spring. Here a pilgrim would bathe, make offerings, or drown, as they might prefer. Nectar, moon, and grail, and we can use remains or omens along with memories. We can also use pigments here. So that would be one use for that black sapphire wash that we found up here. Because it does have 6 moon on it. In fact, let's actually test something out here. So we have a bunch of things with moon on them. So let's test out what we can make. Let's find a skill with moon. That one is low. We'll sort by C. So inks of containment, and then we'll add core here, and see, we don't know what the recipe for 15 moon would be. We'll have to figure that out later. Let's see, we have oronoscopy. For moon, we add a lens and focus the moonlight into a silvery ink of revelation. So that must be making Asimel. So we would need to use a lens. And the only lenses that we can make are Deer Day lens. We can get is a Deer Day lens. We'd have to craft that. Pearl and Tide makes Asimel, so we could turn this black sapphire wash into Asimel. Edict's Liminal has no. Illan Hollow makes salt sign, and we would need to add an egg. Insects and nectars makes a midnight mark, and if we add an egg, we'll hatch something eyeless but pulsing with potential. And it can also make Yugal ink. If we add a beverage, I mix a darker, stronger liquor. So that must be Lethe. Magaphine Mysteries makes Eigengrau. And if we add a flower, we make a pale and chilling draught. So Magaphine Mysteries is a secondary way for us to make Solomon's preparations. Rhyme and Remembrance. Midnight Mark, we need an egg to hatch something mischievous and silvery. Sickle and Eclipse makes Catwink. If I add it or remains, I make something darkly leathery and chillingly powerful. Putrefactions and Calcinations makes Catwink. If I add liquid, I'll brew a more subtle and more potent ink. Serpents and Venoms makes a midnight mark, and an egg makes the scholar level. Snow Stories makes a midnight mark, and an egg for something mischievous and silvery. Trudesmahera, a confounding parable. Again, something silvery and mischievous. Desires and Dissolutions makes a midnight mark. Sand Stories makes Catwink. Sharps makes a midnight mark. Wolf Stories makes midnight mark. So, a couple different things we can make there, but nothing that we really have the ability to make at scholar level yet. So we have two new rooms open here. The Room of Rusts. The ceiling has collapsed. Rusting machinery pokes out here and there through the rubble. And a slithering fountain. After all these years, the fountain in this hall is blocked. That's not a surprise. A little more surprising is this. The blockage appears to be mostly snakes. A great many snakes. This, no doubt, is why we have seen so few rats. And just as this is the area of the Dawn period. 599 AD is the traditional date of the first foundation here, sometimes called the Abbey of the Black Dove, sometimes the Abbey of the White Crow. But the Sisterhood of the Triple Knot first built their temples here much earlier than that. So we would need 11 scale or 11 forge for that room, and we would need 14 edge, 14 knock, or 14 scale for the slithering fountain. That's quite an ask for right now, although we'd probably be able to use one of our Newmans to help us with that, because I think this one, gives 3 rules gives scale. So that would mean we only need to rustle up 5 more scale, or 9 more scale somewhere. But let's finish talking and getting Mr. Kill to help us out there. We have nothing else over here that needs doing right now. Alright, move gingerly while the pain lasts. So there's an old wound. And we can go back and make that into a Wormwood Dream. See, we have several books here we can read. Dream of the Conspiracy of Lower Skies. We're still a little bit away from getting to 16, although we probably could get close to that if we made another of the Newmans here. But we'll wait until we can get Resurgences and Emergences to 7 there. Alright. So he is now at Sky 11. So we can use him to open up the Howling Chamber. Great chunks have been torn from the walls of this room. The wind roams the place like a trapped beast, battering to and fro. So let's see, what else can we get done? We're coming to the end of the day here. And I'm thinking what I will do is I will make another one of these, because we need either moth or grail, so that one will work, so we just add crack track. So that gets us 1. And we have 2 there. We can start making another, working on another Didymos here. Okay, so that makes an Ascendant Harmony. Though if we could find something that gives three more sky, so if we can level strings and songs once more, so if we need so something with heart or sky will be our next. So strings and songs, we want to get 1 more level. That may make it. We can go directly to making either a Wind and Waiting, or using the Ascendant. We can make the Ascendant Harmony and just use that to make a Didymos. So let's see, what can we do? We have to read over here. So we have 12 letters on consequence, gives us putrefactions and calcinations, which would give us winter or moon. We have Chandler's Wish, which gives us inks of revelation, which is moth or lantern. This one gives us Desires and Dissolutions, which is Moon and Grail. This one gives us Great Signs and Great Scars. So let's get our memories together for the next level of Resurgences and Emergences. So we need 5 memories total. So we have 1 from the Newman. We have an Impertinent Vigilation, gets us 2. Ambrosial gets us 3. We can read Geminiad, gets us that, so we need to add Fusine for that. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, that's our 5 memories we need for the next level of Resurgences and Emergences. Actually, while I'm thinking about it, we can make another moth memory. We'll give that a few seconds to tick over so we don't accidentally delete it. And we can start working on a name day riddle for tomorrow. So I remember correctly, we can make a name day riddle with Edict's Liminal, I think it was. Yeah, we can make a name day riddle. We need 10 moth for that. So actually, what we'll do Instead of getting resurgences and emergences to level 7, we'll use that last one on Edict's Liminal here, which will get this to level 6, which will make it easier to make a name day riddle. I think we'll decide tomorrow what we want to do about that. We could also... Actually, we could come over here. Okay, so that doesn't give us anything for Moth. It doesn't even have a Moth 5. So... Okay, so resurgences and emergences makes something eyeless with pulsing with potential with 10 Moth. It uses fabric for 10 Grail. But we can actually start working on... That still only gets us... Not quite far enough to get a name day riddle. Trist would be what we need for that instead of Fet. So we'll definitely have to wait for tomorrow. But we can make that tomorrow with the name day riddle. No, I'm going to save the old moment. Alright, and Mr. Kill has finished his work. And he has opened up. We'll drop this into our Librarian's quarters, and we'll put the Black Sapphire Wash there as well. And this Glassfinger Toxin, we don't need it right now. Okay, so we've opened up the Gullscry Tower Eel's Room. Eels de Wolf inherited his father Valentine's madness and was found unfit to inherit, so his sister Eva held the isle in his stead. When his fits of violence became uncontrollable, he was confined here in the tower, where his sister would visit him 3 times a week, until his escape sometime in the late 1720s. Eels' ultimate fate remains unknown. Cage. Valentine de Wolf put his only friends in cages. Did he close the cage doors? So we can use a cooperative beast, sustenance, or a beverage. And we can also use the same things here. And we can craft with moth, moon, knock, or scale. And we found 2 baronial books. And we found a stimfling. Eva de Wolf taught her father Valentine how to hatch these silvery little villains, but he never learned to like them. 3 moon and 3 scale. Plus they're a creature and they're cooperative. Restful garden chair. Sit here and listen to the trees grow, or the leaves fall. Preferences differ. And then the last room on this tower is the Screaming Summit. Here the wind's rage is so great that I can barely stand upright. It forces me to retreat back to the stairs. I can hear the voice in the wind now, crying out in sorrow as great as the wind's rage. So 12 rose, 12 sky, or 12 winter, so we can definitely open that because we have more than enough power to do that. So that will be a task for tomorrow, though. Alright, and so we'll grab Resurgences and Emergences, a lesson. We can use 1, 2, 3, 4, and the Curious Hunch, and an Arab to improve this skill to level 6. At last, I'm something of an authority in this. we're going to need... Well, we're going to need a Solomon's preparation, but we can wait for that for tomorrow. So, anything else we can start reading here that we can get done with what we have now? We could probably do the Chandler's Wish, which get us Inks of Revelation. But I think we better use up this lesson of Resurgences and Emergences first, just in case it decides that it wants to throw a Numa at us tomorrow. But we will catalog these two books that we found from the baronial period, sometime in the 1500s to 1700s. So there is a Moth Memory, Impulse. There's our Wormwood Dream. So let's see, let's actually consider, do we have enough memory now to make to start a, so we can do the Impulse, we can do 2 Fet, gets us 4, and we just need 6 Moth on top of that. So yes, there we go, we can make a Name Day Riddle. It occurs to me we also probably could have used the desk up here and used the Sisterhood Shears. Alright, so there's an Ascendant Harmony, so we will now conjure that into a Didymos. Actually, we need a Wind in Waiting instead, so we'll use Strings and Songs again. And make a Wind in Waiting. Resurgences is now level 6, so we have 7 Moth and 6 Grail. And today we have a Gale to work with. Oh, that is going to come in handy. That will save us a little bit of time. So we will go ahead and we will grab Mr. Kill. Just in case it decides it wants to throw Numa at us today. Nope, it's going to be a normal winter. Everything is dying. And we'll start talking with Mr. Kill about... Well, if we use the Gale, that will get him to 4. Well, actually, we're going to need the Wind in Waiting first. So, oh! Finally, we find this. Wrapped in the King. Detailed accounts of secret bacchanals and ecstatic dances observed in necropolises and graveyards in southern Europe, in Egypt, and in Anatolia. The author is a self-confessed ghoul, an eater of buried flesh. He claims to have witnessed the dances while at his feasting. So this will give us another lesson in drums and dances, so that will be handy. And I've been waiting to find that book. And the other book we found is Chion at Abydos, a play dealing with the 9-year sojourn of a snow goddess in the Thracian city of Abydos by Apollo Fireweaver, in English, published in 1892, purportedly from an older Greek text. Okay, so we are going to go ahead and we can read Wrapped in the King. We could just add Edicts Inviolable, and we have enough heart power, so we'll start reading that right away, because this gives us a very useful memory. And let's see, so we have Heart and Sky there. We'll probably find some use for those shortly. But for now, I think we will go ahead and call it a day, and we will pick up from here tomorrow. So if you've been enjoying, please leave a like or a comment down below, and we'll go ahead and start Mr. Kill investigating this fief, to at least get that done, because we're still waiting on the Wind in Waiting. Alright, so we'll go ahead and we will call this a day then, and I will see you all tomorrow. If you've been enjoying what you've been watching, please leave a like or a comment. If you want to see how this ends up, please subscribe, and I will see everybody tomorrow.